Hi, welcome to the Assessment Alchemist podcast. I'm Tina Wiles, your host, and welcome to week 3 of the From Panic to PE series. And today we're going to talk about something that is so quick to do and can actually interrupt any panic or stress or anxiety or stuck between answer choices and recenter you. And yeah, it's a magic trick. Okay. So um you know the feeling of, okay, you're freezing on a problem. um Maybe you can't recall what reference materials you need to use for a problem. um the um, you're the heaviness of walking out of the test room and knowing you have to wait for your results, the feeling of it's the morning of your test, right? Like all of these, um, well, can be panic, right? But even just normal test stress, right? It's a big test and you've put in the hours and the work to prepare for it. And um, maybe you're feeling a little overwhelmed, right? So it can interrupt these spirals that you could get in less than 10 seconds. All right. So, um, week 1, we talked about like what happens with your nervous system. And week 2, we talked about why studying harder or more hours isn't the full answer to being able to pass your PE. So today we're getting practical. And this simple reset is going to help. Okay, so what is this magic mechanism that I'm referring to? Okay, so when we're in any kind of stressful situation, and sometimes not even stressful situations, but from our fight or flight kicks in, right? And we have no control over the fight or flight and when it kicks in, right? It's part of the autonomic nervous system. And it's just like it sounds, it happens automatically, right? I talked about that during week 1. Um, and so, what you can do when we don't realize that we're in fight or flight mode, but you have the feelings that I was talking about, um, is we're going to interrupt that whole process in our body, right? So when fight or flight is kicked in, we one of the mechanisms that happens is that we actually start breathing very shallow, um, which is our body's way of preserving itself and its energy for the saber-toothed tiger we might have to fight. But that's not what's actually happening during this test, right? So some of those feelings, like maybe the butterflies in your stomach or your heart racing, but one of the things that's causing a lot of that is we actually breathe shallow. And when we're breathing shallow, it actually creates an imbalance of carbon dioxide in our system. And it's the so it can lead to some of those feelings. So here's the thing. Our breathing is part of that autonomic nervous system too, right? We don't actually have to make conscious decisions to take every breath that we do, which is really good news because we wouldn't be able to think about anything else. So, one quick signal to our body that we are okay is we can kind of like hijack the automated breathing and breathe with intention. Okay. And it's a quick signal to our body that we are okay because we can control our breath. So this is our way in to kind of like get behind that automatic reaction that our body is going through. And this anchor breath that I want to demonstrate and have you do with me is it's called the physiological sigh. And some researchers at Stanford went through and looked at the meditation and all different breathing techniques and found that the physiological sigh is the fastest way to kind of recenter that nervous system. Okay, so I'm going to explain it and then demonstrate it, and then we'll do it together. Okay. So it is a double inhale through your nose and then a slow exhale through your mouth, like you're breathing out through a straw. Okay. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, almost to like capacity of your lungs. Pause for a second and then do another quick inhale through your nose. So it's 2 inhales. And then we're going to breathe out slowly, like we're blowing through a straw. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So now you try it with me. Slow inhale through your nose. Quick inhale. And then slow exhale through your mouth. So if you do that 3 times, altogether it takes about 10 seconds and it's going to kind of reset. Okay, so I think about it like, have you ever had a time when you're crying so hard, you get to a part when you're crying that you end up going like that? That's like a reset of your nervous system. And so this is doing it where you're forcing it to happen. Okay. And why it works is it's actually like 3 things that happen. So the double inhale reinflates some air sacs in your lungs that actually start to collapse when we're breathing shallow. Okay. So it helps with, you'll actually be able to take a deeper breath. The long exhale helps dump the buildup of carbon dioxide I mentioned that we have when we're breathing shallow. It helps dump that out of your body. And the this inhale, double inhale, actually fires the vagus nerve. And I talked about the vagus nerve during week 1, but it's the longest nerve in our body. And it actually, by triggering the vagus nerve, it's another signal to our body that it can calm down the fight or flight mode response. So 3 things. 1 little breath, that little sigh is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it's going to help. Okay, so now when should you actually use it? Okay, honestly, right as you're preparing, you should be practice using it. Okay, so you want to use it when you're stuck on a problem, when you're not stressed, right? Like basically, if you're practicing it not all of the time, but like maybe while you're brushing your teeth, right? You're getting ready for bed at night. Try doing the breath so that when you're in the stressful moments that you remember to use it. Okay, so now let's talk about those stressful moments. When you are like the night before the test, the morning of the test, outside the test center, before you push start, when you're going through the test and you're stuck between answer choices, when you're starting to feel a little brain fog during the test, starting to like feel stressed, like when you're like getting tired during the test, um, during your break, before you come back, before you start after your lunch break, right? Like basically you could use it throughout the entire test and the night before and even after you leave the test center and now you're waiting, you have to wait for the results. You can also pair it with during the exam a thought of think clearly step by step. So while you're doing that, telling to yourself think clearly step by step. Okay. um I hope this helps. And I've been sharing it with my kids, and it helps enough that I was stressed about something the other day. And my 16-year-old son said to me, "Are you going to do that double breath thing?" so, so it stuck with him enough that he told me to use it. Right. So, it helps. Okay. Next week, we're going to meet PE, now a PE, who is an inspiration to me. I hope she becomes an inspiration to you. She has she's so determined and she's so strong, and she's going to share her story of resilience and what helped her pass the PE after she failed it 9 times. So I am excited for you to meet her, and thank you so much for joining us this week on the Assessment Alchemist, and practice that the physiological sigh. Have a great day.